Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a rhinoceros. First we'll draw a few simple shapes for a bit of structure, then add the final drawing on top using easy line work, and then add some shading for the final result. I'll add a link for the materials used in the description below, and don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe. Let's jump in. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. And an easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's height, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width, and then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. And sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. And you don't have to draw a perfect circle, but if you're having trouble drawing one, it's okay to trace the outer edge of a bowl or a cup or a lid or anything else with a circular edge. And rhinos have tall heads, so now we're going to draw the top part of the head. So first, let's make a small mark above the circle, and then connect the small mark to the circle using curved lines. And on the left side, don't go all the way to the circle's left edge. Just go slightly farther to the right than the circle's left edge, and on the right side, go all the way down to the right edge of the circle. So you're basically drawing a tall arc for the top part of the rhino's head. Now we're going to draw a similar shape on the bottom left side as a guide for the muzzle, so go down and to the left and make a small mark, and then connect the small mark to the circle using a curved line, but don't go all the way to the right this time. Just go right before the right edge of the circle. And on the left side, go all the way to the edge of the circle. So it's the opposite of the top arc. And make this arc shorter as well. The top arc has to be taller, and this bottom arc should be shorter. Now draw a long sloping line across the entire head as a construction guide. So this guide will help you place the facial features later. And it also separates the planes on the head. So this will be the side of the head, and this will be the front of the head. And notice that the line is close to the right edge of the shapes. Now draw a sloping horizontal line near the middle of the circle for another construction guide. And again, this line will help you place the facial features later. Now on top of the head, draw an arc as a guide for the first ear. And pay attention to how small this arc is in relation to the rest of the head. Now draw a similar shape on the left side as a guide for the other ear, and you can actually use the small mark method too. So if you'd like, you can make a small mark, and that's just to help you figure out how far away the top of the arc will be, and then just connect the small mark to the head using curved lines to create the guide for the other ear. Now let's draw the top part of the horn. So let's start the shape of the horn here where the horizontal guide is. If you'd like, you can continue drawing the arc for the top part of the head, and then stop at where the construction guide is, and that's where you start the shape of the horn, and then just draw a long curved line that curves toward the ear for the top edge of the horn, and then add another curved line for the bottom edge of the horn. And the bottom edge of the horn should end near the bottom edge of the circle for the head. And inside, draw a long curved line for the base of the horn. So this is sort of a half circle. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye, and place the eye on top of the section where the two construction guides intersect. And pay attention to how small the eye is in relation to the head. And when you get the size and position of the eye right, draw a sloping line across the circle for the eyelid. And then darken the top part for the top part of the eyelid, and the bottom part for the rest of the eye. And make the line thick and dark to represent the eyelashes. and draw a short line on the left side for a crease, and then add a couple more lines on top for more creases on the skin. And draw these lines high above the eye to create sort of a brow effect over the eye. And this is going to be a more stylized version of a rhinoceros, so we can exaggerate the shapes a bit. And do the same thing on the bottom for more creases on the skin. And if you have room inside, draw a tiny circle to represent a highlight, and then shade in the rest of the eye using a light value. And you can add a few more lines too for more creases. Now darken the long shape on the left side to create the horn. And at the bottom, make the shape slightly wider for the big base of the horn. And draw a few lines for texture on the horn. Higher up, draw another triangular shape for the smaller horn higher up on the head. Just draw a couple of sloping lines that come together at the top, and then a curved line at the bottom for the base of the horn. And sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Now draw the muzzle at the bottom along the path of the initial guides. So darken the arc at the bottom, but make the shape a bit wavier for the skin on the muzzle. And draw the bottom part of this shape slightly higher than the guide to create the mouth. And on the left side, make the shape slightly wider for the lip. And then darken the bottom part of the arc for the chin. And along the bottom edge of the initial circle, draw a small triangular shape for the nostril. And add a curved line on top for the structure on the nostril, and then add a couple of horizontal lines for wrinkles on the muzzle. Now use the arc on the top right side as a guide to draw the ear. So go over the basic path of the initial arc to draw the shape of the ear, but make the top slightly wider and the bottom slightly thinner. And extend the bottom lines so that they're inside the head, and at the top draw a pointy shape for the tip of the ear. And inside, draw a curved line for the ear's opening, and add a shorter curved line at the bottom too. And now draw the other ear the same way. Follow the path of the guide, but make the top part slightly wider than the arc, and the bottom part thinner. Now darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the rest of the head. And at the top, draw a curved line for the visible part of the body. And curve this line over the ear. And then draw a couple of curved lines at the top for creases on top of the head. And darken the side of the guides for the side of the head, and add a curved line for a crease on the neck. And that's it for the main part of the rhino. Now let's move on to finalize the drawing. Now erase the initial guidelines. And you don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Now pick up some of the graphite using a kneaded eraser to lighten your drawing. Now go over the final lines with charcoal. And I'm using a charcoal pencil with a grade of 2B, but you can go even darker and use a 4B pencil, or go lighter and use an HB pencil. Use a few short strokes on the tips of the ears to create some hair. Use a small piece of scrap paper to rest your hand on so that you don't smudge your drawing. Use thick lines for a bolder and more graphic drawing. Now shade your drawing. Pick a light source as you shade so that the shadows are consistent throughout the head. And here the light source is coming from the top, so most of the shadows will be on the undersides of the shapes. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. Push down very lightly on your pencil for a light value and then push down harder for darker values. Shading can be time consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the Rhino. Remember to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Don't forget to leave a comment, to like the video, and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.